Hey everyone, and welcome to my art desk. We're going to try to demystify some art here. Demystifying art. Just basically I'm going to show you some tips and techniques. Being able to make art, and in this case watercolor paintings, is just a matter of practice. And if you want to do it, you can do it. Anyone can learn how to do this, so there's no... Artists weren't born with angels singing praises over their heads, and there was no Sleeping Beauty moment where fairies came in at our birthday parties and bestowed upon us the gift of creating art. No, that's a myth. Okay, so what do I need? What do I have? And what am I doing? I actually have no idea. But I will make something. I'm going to start with the things that I use. So this is just a regular plastic palette. Paper towel that I've cut down. This is for taking water off of the brushes. I'm doing watercolor. I have a pasta sauce glass jar that I have filled with water, and that's not going to stay in there, but I put it. I'm going to have it off to the side. We're doing watercolor. You need water. Okay, so let's talk about colors. There is something to be said for creative constraints. I will show you my other palette. This is my other watercolor palette, and you'll see that it has a ridiculous number of colors in here. I mean, this is all the brown section, there's my red section, there's my yellows, which I mix with the greens, there's a couple of greens, there's my blues. There's a lot of blue. There's my purple back in the corner. Okay, I'm not going to use this today. This is what I use if I'm doing a lot of like full and complete works. Today, I'm going to be challenging myself and doing sketches. Because it's a day of exercising, not of full-on creation. There's something in my camera. Sorry about that. I'm going to move the camera over a little bit. Okay, I have, this is the first time I'm using this particular setup, so sorry if it's a little bit weird and wiggly, but I do have some more freedom in terms of how I, that's kind of nice. I like it higher. Okay, so gives me more space here. So what we're going to do, today I am going to just kind of let myself go, and I don't know what I'm going to make. But I'm going to constrain myself with my color choices. I'm a big fan of the Shinhan professional watercolors. So for bang for your buck, this is a really, really good deal. You can pay a lot more for some watercolors that have a slightly higher pigment, but I don't like spending that much money on art supplies. I like to see what I can do with the things that I have. And cheaper stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a color area, and I usually go for either the blues or the browns. So I'm going to kind of move away from that today into this range. Okay, I never go for reds and greens. So complementary colors are colors that, or you have one primary and then you have the two other primary colors mixed together, and that will be its complement. But that also goes if you shift over a little bit too. So what I think I'm going to do today is I'm going to stick with like this reddish orange. This one is vermilion hue. And I have orange here, so I'm going to, which is permanent yellow orange. So I'm going to use these two, and then I'm going to find their complements. Now, if this is red, the complement would be green. If it's yellow, or orange, which we're going into orange here, the complement would be blue. So I'm looking for a kind of green blue. So I'm going to go with Viridian Hue and Peacock Blue. And just because I need something dark, I'm going to include Prussian Blue. Now, Prussian Blue is a really dark, dense, like shadow blue. Those are going to be my colors today. I'm constraining myself. And I'm going to add in ding, 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 ding. I don't like ivory black, but I'm gonna put that in because I'm not gonna open up my other color tubes. Okay, first thing you have to do is take the cat hair off of your palette. It's cat hairs. Whatever, cat hairs are gonna be in everything that I own. I will probably, they're gonna find my corpse sometime and they're gonna say, how did she die? She breathed in too many cat hairs. Okay, where do we put these colors? Well, Prussian blue is gonna go right next to my black. So this will be my shadow area. And I have a great need to color coordinate things and to put them where they're gonna serve me best. So I'm going to put these two together. So I have my black and my Prussian blue, and that's going to be my shadow area. I'm going to skip one and then put down my pickup blue. Put down my Viridian hue, which is my greenish color. Okay. Now, I know that I'm going to want more blends of these. And I want to blend these with the black and with the blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two here and here, and I'm going to leave some space between them. Because it doesn't matter what I'm going to do. I have, so let me walk through my palette here. Arrgh! Tear up my hands. Okay. Woof. That is a bright orange. Okie doke. So, I have 3 cool colors here. Cool, hot and cool. Cool colors push to the background. Warm colors pull forward. Every time. Basically every time. So, I have these two are cool colors. Of course, they're based on blue. Anything based on blue is going to be a cool color. This one is also cool. 1, 2, 3. I have 2 warm colors. Very warm. Warm colors are based on red. Red is a hot color. Orange is a hot color. Yellow is actually neutral because it can be warm or cool. And then I have a neutral color over here. Ivory black is not like... Okay, so usually I use Payne's Gray for my black, because it is a very cool black. But ivory black will work this time because I have 3 cool colors, 2 warm colors, and then I'll have this nice little neutral. Okay, my palette is set up, and I have still no idea what I'm going to draw. I get more requests for people than for landscapes. But, I'll do a person. I'll do a person. It's okay. I can do it. I can do it. Alright, what am I using for brushes today? These guys. See what these are? These are Sumi brushes. Okay. And they're really nice because, especially for watercolor in faces and things like that. Because if you get them wet, I'm going to slosh it around in the water here. If you see, it comes to a nice point. See that? Now, usually I use a watercolor brush like this. This is a Da Vinci Kolinsky Sable. I am picky about my brushes. And this one will also come to a nice tiny point. And I'll use this one later, probably for like some details and stuff. But for the most of my drawing, I think I'm going to use this guy and his buddy over here, who's maybe not quite the same quality, but holds more water. And so that one does better with washes. Okay, so I've got these 2 guys. And then this guy's my backup, and he's gonna sit over here. Ready. I'm ready. Okay, so I have this. Alright, so I buy these really expensive paper towels, and then I use them forever. These I actually throw in the laundry. If you get the highest quality of the Scott towels, you can throw it in with your wash, and they will hold together, and you can use them again and again and again. And I put them in garment bags, and I will wash all of these and use them all again. But one paper towel, and I cut it into 4 pieces. So I have my dry ones over here, and this guy going straight into the water. Get you soaking wet. And this is going to be essentially a mop. Let's get started. Okay. I'm going to move things a little bit. I'm used to having like more space and my cat's going to walk across and things like that. All right. It's okay. She can walk across all she wants right now because I got nothing here. You're going to get to know her very well. Okay, how do I want these set up? I want my colors over on this side. My paper here. My brushes, I need something to stand them up in. So, hello votive holder. And you're going right here. And she's going to check and make sure that everything is okay. And everything's settled before I get started. And there's water on your nose. Push, 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 push. Push, 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 push. And then we're going to play with the cat for a minute. Yeah. And then I'm going to put her down because I'm not getting anything done with her here. Okay. All right. Character. I'm going to start by kind of just getting the paper wet. This is a cold press paper. Blocking this out in the middle. And I'm going to mix my colors. I don't use any colors straight out of the tube. Not even black. I mean, black, sometimes I do, I guess. I don't know. But most of the time, I don't use that out of the tube. And I'm going to mix a little bit black in here. Okay. Now, as you see, when I go on here, I can sort of preview what it's going to be like. And that's a really hot orange. So I want to cool it down a little bit. And I can actually use a touch of blue into my orange. Oh, that's a little bit too much of a touch. Run, get with it. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. I like that. I like that. It's kind of a brown orange. I like that one. I like that one. I like that one. Okay. Now I'm going to squeeze by twirling the brush here. It's going to squeeze them out, and I'm going to plot down where I want things. His hair is on fire. That's okay. Because I'm not going in here with anything in mind. I just know that I want this to be some sort of portrait, but okay, so why did I get everything wet? First of all, watercolor likes doing this. The reason I use watercolor is because it does this interesting thing on paper where it will make an edge and it will also travel on water. So if you put water down, your watercolor is going to bleed everywhere. And there's so many people who get stressed out by that, but I'm sitting here going, whoa, that's an amazing tool. Let's use that. If you ever want to see the absolute master of that technique, and I mean, of all the people, there are a lot of people who are working in watercolors today. There are a lot of people who have worked traditionally in watercolors, but the master was Victor Hugo. Yes, the same Victor Hugo who wrote Hunchback of Notre Dame. Yes, the same Victor Hugo who wrote Les Miserables. That Victor Hugo was an incredible artist. And the things that he did with his ink washes, were so far ahead of his time. I mean, I don't even know where he came up with the ideas. Just probably war weariness and having gone through so much. And being sitting there being frustrated the whole time that he couldn't do anything about it. If you guys don't know, a lot of the artists from the... I'm not going to go into art history lesson. Okay, but during the Rococo period, there was another period that was going on at the same time. So you have Rococo art, which is all very whimsical, and if you look at Fragonard and a lot of these other artists, it was all happy and fun and strange, bizarre, slightly naughty reactions to what had been a very serious, post or late Renaissance romantic period. But there were a lot of artists who were just like, this is not life. This is something completely different. You guys have no clue. You're so detached from what's really going on. Okay. We're starting to see how these work together. And I've got a little bit of a face going on here. Do you see this? So what I've done is I have used warm colors to set down my overall outline, because warm colors can cool down really easily, but it's almost impossible to warm up cool colors without just completely erasing the layer underneath. And on top of that, I have, because I'm using complements, they will push and pull to the greatest extent. So if I put one complement next to another, you're going to get the highest level of color contrast. Just like if you would have put black and white together for value contrast. Okay. Okay. Now I've figured out a light source. Light's going to be coming from this side, which means that this side is going to be in shadow, which means that this side is also going to be darker, but this is more intense. So what I need to do is I need to plank some contrast down in it in the form of complementary colors on here too, but we'll do more of that later. Okay, now I'm going to start putting in shadows, and I think what I'm going to do is use some of this Prussian blue into the blue. Okay, because remember the peacock blue is still it's a green blue, so it's kind of warm. It's a little bit warmish, but I need to cool it down more. And I need to darken it. So I'm going to make my own little, it's like a warm Prussian blue here. My problem is I need it as a wash. So there are two ways that you can wash, and the official real way that you should do it is by putting water in with your color. But I like to wash on the brush. I like to create my wash on the brush. Now do you see how the watercolor is pulling? It's pulling the colors all over the place. That's why we do watercolor. Now I know that I need a dark part in here, so I'm going to push this around. There's a hair there. Okay. Now this is actually a little bit wet, so I can go in here and straight up Prussian blue. You know how I said I didn't like using color straight out of the tubes? This is why. It's really intense. But you can use it to your advantage. And I plan on layering this anyway. This is going to be so heavily layered by the time I'm done. Alright, I'm going to go in with the little brush now. This guy. we're going to do some detailing before I go on, because I need to figure out what his age is, because I don't have a plan for this. Okay, so layering watercolor works differently than layering other colors, because what you can do is you can put down a like a foundation, an underpainting. I think you're gonna have I'm liking it. Okay. It's definitely better. Okay. Man. Making man by watercolors. Alright, and now we are almost at the point where I say... Oh wait, I can do this first. Okay, and now we wait. Now I'm going to sit here and wait for a little bit. And you don't have to wait though, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this and we will come back. Okay, I'm back and the paper is dry a little bit. That's kind of what I was waiting for. I need it to be a little bit drier in order to do some highlights and things like that. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do is I want to make sure that he still registers as being a human being, even though he's just orange and blue. So there are a few things that I can do in order to do that, and one of them is to give him a rosy nose. I am not a big fan of red noses, when people draw red noses on everything. I'm just not a fan. However, there is something to be said for giving people color in the places in their face that generally have color. So I'm going to start by putting down some yellow, some of this yellow orange, the bright orange that I have here. It's mixed with a little bit of blue so that it's not just pure yellow. And I'm going to put it there. I should use the other brush. I'm going to put it on his cheeks, like here. Now this is where the sun is going to hit it. If the sun is coming, if I have the light source over on the right side of this page, I need to imagine where it's going to hit. So it's going to hit here, 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 that part right there. Okay, and then each time I'm going to take this with just water and, you know, sort of flush it out a little bit. It's going to be on this side of his nose. It's going to be right there on his forehead, right here on his forehead, over here on his lips, and all along up in here. And I made a mistake, so. But it doesn't matter. Splatters don't matter. Okay, so now he looks sunburned. That's okay, because we're going to tone everything down. Just like on this side, we have all the blue, and I can actually go in and detail a little bit more. Like, really carve this out. And the more you do this sort of thing, with that Prussian blue and peacock blue mix, the deeper it gets. It doesn't go deeper from having black there. It goes deeper from having blue there. And that's how color theory works. So I'm going to really go in under his chin on this side. Okay, right in here, right in here. And here we go. Remember I said I gotta like put it into his hair too, because on this side his hair is not just fire, it is fire and shadow. So okay, cool. Now on top of this, I'm going to do a big flush of red, because someone with hair that fiery is going to come from a background, generally facial structure as well, going to come from a background that has face skin like mine, which means that any slight thing that happens to him, he's going to turn rosy. He's going to turn reddish rosy and rosy posy out of here. And there's nothing that we can do. Nothing we can do about it. Teaching kindergarten, my kindergarten kids would say, "Your face is all pink. It's so pretty." Yeah, well, it's pink because the temperature raised like half a degree. And therefore, instead of being frigid cold like my Scandinavian ancestors preferred, it is now, 22 degrees in that summer. Celsius. What's 22 Fahrenheit? 22 Fahrenheit? I don't even know. Anyway. That's right. You're right. It is Ma'au degrees. Because everything is Ma'au degrees to a cat. Okay. He has lips. Lips are not white. I know. It's amazing. Am I turning him into a girl by giving him lipstick? No. Oh, some of the guys I know have brighter pink lips than I ever will have. The fact that they even have lips is kind of amazing to me, because I've got nothing. Nothing. Okay. When you do watercolors, there's a whole lot of waiting for them. And what I usually do, if I'm working on something with a reasonable or even a slight time constraint, what I do is I have my hairdryer here with me. Full on cheating. Alright, so I made this yellow by actually mixing my orange with a little bit of that green. I know, it's almost like cheating, but I still use the colors that I came out to do. Remember, yellow is not a hot color. It is not necessarily a warm color. Yellow is a neutral color. And so by mixing a warm and a cool, you can actually make yellow the neutral color. Okay. You are looking really, really cool. But I have a few other details I have to fix before we pause again. And this time when we pause, I'm going to make some tea, because I want to really make sure that some of this is dry before I do too many more details. Okay, I'm figuring out the eyes, and the eyes are going to be here. See that right there? That's because I didn't wait. But that's okay, because that's what happens when you do watercolors. To be an artist, first of all, anyone can do this kind of stuff. I'm doing it quickly because I've been practicing it for a very long time. But you can do the exact same thing. I mean, honestly, if you slow down this video and you looked at everything that I did, you can just sit there and go, oh yeah, oh look, yeah, look what's happening here. That just there's dark, and she's just pushing it around so that it isn't all dark in one place. And see, I used too much green, so I'm gonna mop it up. I'm gonna use my bigger brush. I'm gonna mop this up a little bit, clean it. Right? You can even go in with a dry, clean towel, and I can take it all out. Oh wow. That's magic, right? No, 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 no. It's just art. It's just art. And I can put all this back in. Okay. I am going to wait a little bit longer this time. I did not wait long enough last time, and my drawing's suffering a little bit for it. But here's the thing. There's nothing that I can't fix. Right? There's nothing you can't fix. If you need to go darker, you can always go darker in layers later. If you make a mistake like this, you can take it out and put it back in later. You can wait until it dries, and then come back in with a darker color and put on another layer. You can bring the shadows out. You can, you know, there's like a multitude of sins that can be fixed if you just don't, A, rush yourself like I'm doing, and B, limit yourself like a lot of people do when they say, oh, I can't do that. We're going to wait. I'm going to go make tea, and then I will come back when this is dry. Might get the hairdryer. I like hair dryers. Or I might just keep going the way that I'm doing now. So anyway, I will be back. Okay, now we're completely dry. There's just a little bit of coolness in the middle, but that's okay. If it's cool, that means it's mostly dry and I don't need to worry about it. I have my tea, my little Iron Man mug. So I'm good. Let's go into fixing the eyes, adding some details, and giving him a bit of a body. I'm not going to give him a lot of body though, because I want this to be kind of I don't know. I like watercolors that explode on the page and then they sort of disappear. Oh my god, I just moved everything. Sorry. Okay. Eyes. I usually save the eyes for last, but I really have to do some repair on this one here. So I'm going to go in right away with blue and my ivory black. Remember, ivory black is warm. It is not a cool black. It is a warm black. So I need to add blue in there in order to get it to work. But I have to shape the eyes so that they're in a certain proportion to each other. And I'm just kind of guessing at this right now. Usually, if I do a drawing first, I'll have a little bit more